testing the Nesco food dehydrator. So I tried wax paper and taken off the chili that I made. Did not come off of it very well. So I'm using If You Care parchment baking paper. Totally chlorine free. And this was the hardest part, cutting out these liners. And we are going to be dehydrating homemade split pea and ham soup for the first time. I did chili, that turned out really well. So I'll try a video with that next time. So here's a homemade split pea soup that I made with ham, onions, carrots. And you want to line it very thin. So I'm using a big tablespoon. I'm just going to put some around like this. I'm going to do this very thin. Now chili is really hard to do because of the kidney beans, so if I can do chili and it turned out good, which I will do that. Next time. But I wanted to try it to see what would happen. And I had to dehydrate it for about 7.5 hours, checking check the first time after 6 hours. I didn't check it before then. I checked it at 6 hours and then another hour, and it was so close, so I let it go another half hour. So it was 7.5 hours. Now, if I had pre-made the liners, that would have been awesome. Because it was an all-day process, screwing up left and right, trying to do this with chili. So the idea is to make sure your bits are as tiny as possible, because with the chili, some of the ground beef was thicker. So see that one? I'm going to take that one out right there. And I'm going to put it in here. I can eat that later with a bowl of soup. So I got the first tray done. Now I'm going to put on the second tray. And with the chili, I also left out the middle tray just to get more airflow in there. I'm going to get a bigger spoon because it's just too small. I have my bigger spoon. Once I get really good at this, dehydrating stuff, I'll do a live, I think I'll do a live video. Oh yeah, that's better. Now, when I did the chili, like I said, I didn't do all the trays just to get more circulation in there, just to see how that would work, because there's no holes in these liners. You can buy liners, I guess, online. I looked, but they had holes in them. And there's silicone, which I will try eventually. I'm laid off from work, so I had nothing to do but try dehydrating foods just to see if I can manage it. It's time consuming. That one's a little bit too big right there, too thick. So I'll end up cooking the stuff, overcooking the other stuff a little bit too long. So you want to have it pretty uniform. And we'll do another tray. Flip it over because it curls. Doesn't matter which way you put it. And this was really hard. I'm going to have to make a template to do this and cut them out. Each one's a little bit different, so I'm going to have to move that one over a bit. And push it back. Just to make sure yeah, this is a little bit difficult if you don't have it measured good, and I was struggling and almost giving up. When I did the chili, I had a whole bunch of ones I couldn't use. I used wax paper, and it didn't turn out well. Did a little bit of research on using parchment paper instead, with no coating on it, just to see if that would help. So this is my first time using not wax paper and using parchment paper instead. So with all the problems I had with the wax paper, I decided I'll do a video on this, so if you're not struggling like I did trying to do this. So each tray is probably a cup of soup, maybe. I'll have to measure it. Let's measure the next tray just to see about how much split pea soup that you can put. And notice everything is pretty uniform size-wise. You want the smallest bits possible to dehydrate. Dehydrates faster, so you're saving energy. And not only that, it rehydrates faster too. Okay, so I'm gonna do another tray. And I have my phone set up above, looking down, because I can't hold the phone and do this at the same time. There's another tray. Another liner. So let's measure this and see how much we're putting on there. So I have a 2-cup measuring cup. I'm going to dip this right in there and get it to 1 cup And that's about 1 cup. Okay, we'll see if this, I don't think this 1 cup is going to work. I think we're going to end up putting more on, so I'll measure that out and see how much we actually can get on one of these trays. And you want to know how much you can get on a tray, which I didn't do with my chili. I know what it was in the bag. It was a 4-cup bag because I measured that. And then freezer stored the rest of it. So I did a 4-cup bag and did 3 trays of chili. Oh yeah, so that makes sense. About a 1 cup and a quarter on each tray. And I did 1 cup and a third. Maybe a cup. We're gonna add just a little bit more. So I'm gonna say 1 1/4 cups, and that way you'll know what you started with and what you end up with. Right? I want to make sure it's pretty even. So 1 1/4 cups about for each tray. Put another tray on there. Another one of my handy dandy cutouts. And do that again. We're almost done. This is the last tray. Like I said, when I did the chili, I did not do 5 trays. I only did 4 trays, left out the middle one for more air circulation. This time I'm doing 5 trays, and we'll see how long it takes. And as you see, I spilled some, so I gotta wipe that off really quick. That around. So I used, to make this pot of chili, it was about up to there. I used 7 pounds of split peas. It was full. I put a lot in the freezer. 7 pounds of split peas. And you're supposed to use, for split pea soup, about 2 cups of water. Well, I did the whole entire batch, got all the peas in there, and minus a cup of water at the end. So it was like, so 7 pounds. Each cup is 2 cups of water, I think. So only at the very end did I decide, you know what, I'm not going to put in that last cup of water. Oh Oh no, it was 3 cups of water. I was thinking the bouillon. So I minused a cup of water at the end. 1 pound of carrots, 2 white onions, 12 bouillon cubes, and then you add 2 cups of water for each bouillon cube. And that was it. And it's really, really good. So I have the last one done. And let's put on the top. So notice I have on a baking sheet just in case for some heat. Protect my freezer. I have a very small kitchen, so I have very little space to work with. Get that in there. All the trays are good. I'm plugging my phone charger. Get that in there. And it is 1:30. My kitchen clock just said 1:30, so I'm turning this on. It's not that loud. And it's gonna set the timer for 5.5 hours because it's not as thick as the chili. And I'll do a video when I check it 5.5 hours.